I'm here with DadMan. We're going to talk about miscellaneous movies that we listened or watched rather this week. But also Werner Herzog, who I have had a fascination with for a long time. I'll get into that after we talk about our movies. But starting up top, we have some comments that we kind of want to just put out there. First and foremost, DadMan, I don't even think you're aware of this. So I clip our podcast, take chunks that are, themed.
Yeah.
The happiness video did 1,000 views. Can you believe that?
Wow.
And we got 2 comments. First one saying storytelling is next. That's another Todd Solondz film, and that is by Slow to Roll 3375. And I think I'll check that out because Happiness was good. I liked it. And maybe we can try to find a way for you to watch it as well.
Yeah. Hey, listen, about comments, please comment.
Yes.
We will, we want to read them. I think you do, but you don't always share them with me.
True.
Because you're the administrative whatever.
I'm the key holder.
Of the
gatekeeper.
Site.
The gatekeeper.
But good or bad, or like recommendations,
but not bad.
Or no, we don't care.
I do. I'm very sensitive.
Well,
if you make fun of someone, make fun of DadMan, and then
yes.
Someone asked. We brought it up on the "I Lost My Job Over This" podcast episode, which you should check out.
Yeah, that's
because if I need to,
if you need a good cry,
yeah,
drop something on your foot. Don't listen to this. But if you need a kind of a dark humor laugh.
If I can't cash in on losing my job, via YouTube, then what's the point?
Why even have YouTube?
Why would I even work?
Who made it up? YouTube.
I think it was some
probably Asian.
But you're not allowed to say that.
You would have fit in Germany in a particular portion of time.
You're not allowed to say it, and you're never going to know what we said because I have to bleep that. But
yeah,
you can put the pieces together, I'm sure. Another person said Love Liza, and I looked that up. It's a Philip Seymour Hoffman movie where his girlfriend commits harikari, which you know what that is, or seppuku. It's Japanese.
Is it a Japanese steak?
I don't know. Well, the girlfriend's name is Liza. She could be Japanese. I don't know. I don't discriminate. But she commits the ultimate act, some would say.
Okay, got it.
And he huffs gasoline.
To do the same?
No, just
for fun and giggles.
Just to cope. And flies RC airplanes. Very
huffing.
Very in style.
Boys and girls saying.
Very contemporary.
Huffing, as it's the young folks call it.
It's not recommended.
Way better other drugs to do. And I'm not saying do drugs.
I will say.
Saying if you're doing them, I know it's easily accessible. I think what it does is it blocks your brain's ability to absorb or to receive oxygen. So after a while,
it's neurotoxic. So ingesting the fumes or inhaling the fumes, and it simulates your brain's reaction
to death
if you were dying.
Oh,
and that's why you get.
I should try that.
That's why you get the
high.
The high is if it's what you would get if you were.
I thought it just made
on the verge of death.
I mean, when I did it back in the 70s, way better inhalants. I'm just saying. I'm not bragging, but
I tried it with farts and it didn't work. It was very disappointing.
Don't laugh. People do that. There is a way that people do get high off of
pee and poop.
Part of it is methane.
Yeah, I guess. I don't even know. They thought methane was methamphetamines, and they were wrong.
They were way wrong. You cannot snort.
That's just scat play. Sorry.
I don't.
You got to do research.
Look, everybody to their own thing, but I don't understand scat play. I don't.
But imagine trying to do research when your fingers are poop caked.
They may actually wash their hands prior to the research.
I doubt it.
Just saying.
I doubt it. But Love Liza, and I will be checking that out, and you all should as well. Well, I love Philip Seymour Hoffman. One of the best performers of all time. I've seen so many movies with him. I think 17 or 18 movies. You should be impressed by that. That's a lot.
I didn't know he made that many.
Oh, he's in more. He's in more than that. And he's good in everything.
Pretty much. I've ever seen him in.
He's a theater actor as well. He did plays with John C. Reilly where they would switch roles every other night. They would play brothers, and you would do Brother A, and then Tuesday he'd do Brother B.
He just sounds like he just loved to act. Because
he was meant for it.
If you do, like he's making money from movies. He was, you know.
Fuck yeah.
So when you revert back to theater, when you don't need to,
it's for the love of the game.
Yeah, it's because you love to act. I think he's just was a very talented actor.
R.I.P. man, R.I.P.
We lost a master,
a great
thespian.
Maybe one of the best of all times that people. I think people who watch a lot of movies understand that. I think more mainstream audience members don't realize that, but he really was one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
Then we got a comment. This is on a different video. This was a Serbian film video.
You loved that movie.
My favorite ever made. My friend showed me this over 10 years ago. I still have nightmares from the depravity in a certain scene. If you saw it, you know exactly the one. What I wanted to say, I commented slightly different. I don't know if he's your friend.
Yeah. You know him.
Yeah. He was malicious, I will say. That's not something you gotta come into that knowing.
You gotta tell. There's a warning label for a reason.
Yeah, like, do you remember? Well, you were like a parent during this time period when they're like, "Hey, we need explicit labels on CDs."
Yeah.
Who gives a shit about that?
Yeah.
How much can you really disturb someone with words? You know what I mean? They're saying the F word, they're saying the S word, they're saying the other F word.
Yeah.
N word? Whoa. That's the only time there should be an explicit label. I don't care if you're black or white. You say the N word, put that explicit label on. Everything else goes. You can say sexual and other racist slurs. Don't say the N word.
Okay.
That's why it's called the N bomb. It's like the atom bomb. You just don't go there. Anyone. For any
talking
reason.
to me this whole time? Because I wasn't sure.
Whatsoever.
All right. Yeah, okay, so we aren't going to talk about that dumb subject What were we?
Oh. We're doing comments.
Oh, okay.
Someone else did say another. We're talking about the Serbian film.
I noticed that when I listened to the podcast. I think you get paid every time you cut me off in the middle of a sentence. Because I noticed, like, in the last time, I'm like, man, this motherfucker's rich. Sometimes it's just like a really good idea, and you just destroy it. Talk about an A-bomb.
Our dog is not having a seizure, but they're acting crazy. You go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, now I don't remember. Honestly, I'll tell you, I feel badly for somebody who watched something like that, and I'll tell you, it's tamed by the standards of Serbian films. When I watched The Exorcist, I was in 9th grade, and I lived in a very old house, and I slept in the attic, okay? I don't think I slept very well for 9 months, because there were noises up there, and I know it was nothing probably or whatever, but oh my God, when you see something that visually scars you, it sticks with you, and like we said, your friend's not your friend.
Yeah, I'm not good with the law.
Now. Who knows?
I'm not good with the law. I know Jewish people though, and you might have a case. That's all I'm gonna say. You might have a lawsuit case. I don't know. What do you think? They might be liable for damages.
Can I bring up the fact that a certain situation where you thought you were good to go as far as suing somebody?
Was it today?
Yes.
Well, that was...
Were you serious?
Did you know I was joking?
Okay. No.
That was 100%. Hilarious, by the way. You should give me credit.
So what? So you can lie.
I said... So...
Whoa. What a genius! He was a good liar.
Well, we'll fill the people in because you're probably waiting in suspense,
Yeah.
or you clicked off
Or
by
don't
now.
care.
So we recorded the I got fired because of my podcast, and I said, "Do you think I have a case?" And you said,
To sue for wrongful termination.
"Yeah." And to which you responded,
No.
and I said, "Well, isn't there discrimination?" And you said, "Against what?" And I said, "Well, what if I said I'm gay?" And then you're like, "No." I said, "Okay, what if I said they thought I was gay, but I'm not?" Any lawyers who listen to this, which by God, if you are, you need to change course.
No, some lawyers
No,
are very creative. This is a super creative
You'll be
podcast.
surprised by this. I get messaged by thousands of lawyers that watch
Really?
and listen and love.
I have one that won't leave me alone. It's about a pending legal case, but still.
Yeah, I mean, they got to get paid somehow.
Yeah.
Or they need their information. I don't know.
I don't know
Well,
what
I
lawyers
wasn't
do.
we should, disclaimer, you weren't even at that playground at that time.
No, I live somewhere else and I have proof.
Yeah. He has an alibi, guys, so
Yeah.
whatever you heard
Watching TV.
is incorrect.
TV's an alibi, right? I can tell you what happened during that episode.
Hey, I was home alone, but I watched what was on the television. That used to be an alibi. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, I guess so. They'd be like, "Oh, what happened?" If you're like, "Hey,
You know, I
at
think
the
you're right,
end,"
but I think... Yeah, okay. I don't know if that's accurate or not. I think you saw that on a
in a
television
movie,
show.
yeah. All right, and last but not least, comment. This was on the best horror films of every year for the past decade. This has gotten a ton of comments over time. It's accumulated thousands of views. But someone wanted to share their favorite movie for each year. 2014, It Follows. You like that?
I liked it. Very good.
2015, Green Room, which I had on there. That's a good movie. I don't think it was my favorite. I forget what I put, but it is a good movie. One you should maybe even check out. 2016, Blair Witch. I think me and you are going to have some... We kind of disagree with that, but that's okay.
That was 2016?
A remake of Blair Witch. I mean, the
Okay,
original
okay.
one came out like early 2000s.
Oh, before
think.
that.
Yeah,
1998,
1998, yeah.
99.
Yeah, I didn't like the remake, but I can see people liking it. Best of the year.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little shaky, but I mean, hey, you like what you like. 2017, Mother and Get Out. If the Mother you're talking about is a Park Chan or a Bong Joon-ho movie, that's really good. I think I didn't include it because on Letterboxd it's not horror.
Bong
Joon-ho.
Joe?
Bong Ho Joe? Bong Ho Joe. We're going to be talking about him later. But that is a very good movie. I would recommend it to anyone. Get Out, I like. You like.
It was good.
Best of the year?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know what else it was going against. It was good. New concept. I'll give it definitely best of the year. But I don't know like I said, unless I don't know what else came out that year. But I would agree with that.
It's hard unless you're looking directly at a list. 2018 Annihilation, Mandy. I had those as my top two as well, though Hereditary is the one that everyone else at least says is the best. So
yeah.
We're in the minority with that one. But
Annihilation was interesting.
I agree.
Interesting. Not necessarily too horror-ish.
Yeah.
More sci-fi-ish.
It was
Plus,
cosmic
annihilation is
horror.
one of my favorite words. Did you know
everyone.
that?
Everyone
No,
knows that word.
not everyone.
When
What's
I
the
was a
root
kid-
word of annihilation?
Nihilism.
No. Root. Ism is a suffix.
Nil.
Nil, which means
Nothing.
correct.
2019 The Lighthouse, that's a very good movie. 2020 The Invisible Man, Underwater. Haven't seen Underwater, I'll check that out. But Invisible Man was fucking sick. 2021 VHS 94. I've watched only the first VHS film, but I have on my watch list the entire series, which there's a lot of. No.
Yeah, I have every movie on my watch list. So I'm going to get around to them. I'm sorry. guys.
Why did you personally attack me like that?
Well, because you always say that.
Words hurt. Words do hurt.
Like less than 6 months ago, as we were talking and so forth, and the most basic movies that you had not seen, but you had seen like a Hungarian film from 1954 in black and white.
That was 7 hours long. But it wasn't from 54, it's from the...
Okay,
from the
that
90s.
was okay. I wasn't trying to be completely accurate.
Well, if you're going
I was
to
trying to make a
reference
point,
movie I saw...
and you
just get it
hadn't
right.
seen The Godfather.
I've seen it now.
You have now. I was saying that you're.
And my number one movie is The Godfather 2.
It's very, very good, and I used to think that. I don't know what I would say. Maybe I still feel that way because I can't think of anything that's. Apocalypse Now. No question, baby. No question.
Well, maybe we'll just have a...
Now
that I'm unemployed, I'll just come over...
The impact of that movie and the themes...
We'll watch all the Francis Ford Coppola films.
Darkness.
And rank them.
Wow, he did both of those, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, his face should be on Mount Rushmore for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean, but it's outside of... I mean, he has other good films with...
Like other than like the Godfather series, and he did 1 and 2, right? Mm-hmm. And Apocalypse Now, like what else has he done? Because I would probably be
Dracula.
Interested. Okay.
Rumblefish. The Outsiders.
Those are the early ones. The Outsiders was good. I loved Outsiders. That was really good.
His other... I mean, I'll look. But his other stuff isn't as...
There was a fight
popular.
scene in The Outsiders. You remember?
There was a bunch
in the rain.
Of fights, yeah.
Well, the final fight scene was so cool, though, man. I mean, you know what?
It was a neat film.
That's an older movie. I've never seen something quite that cool. Except, what was it called? I think it was called Streets of Fire. I gotta look that up. That movie fight scene was so cool.
One more that I actually do really like. It would have to be my fourth favorite from him is The Conversation with Gene Hackman. It is really good.
Is that just him and another guy talking?
No.
Oh, okay, because there's a movie.
I'm familiar with that film, yeah. It's the guy from Princess Bride who does the poison thing with the blonde guy and someone else. I know he's in that, though.
I know him, yeah.
He is a surveillance guy. You remember we were talking about that a few episodes ago? I said he was a bugger and you're like, surveillance? And I said yes. And I was embarrassed. He also did Megaopolis in 2024, which got very critically panned.
They crushed that.
The Rainmaker, but everything else...
That.
You liked it?
No, but I saw it.
Yeah, that's half the battle. Yeah, so he has films. I think The Rainmaker is maybe the only other one that I would like, but I want to give Megaopolis a chance. But what's probably going to put me on the path to finally watching that is committing to like, hey, I want to do a Francis Ford Coppola ranked video. Otherwise, I don't know what's going to actually spur me to watch that just because it's been rated so badly. And I feel as though it's necessary to watch the original, which is... I know it is considered a great, but that's a hard sell. Like an over 2-hour movie that's silent.
Which one?
The original Megaopolis.
Oh, yeah.
That's just a tough sell.
Yeah, I don't think... I mean, and I do believe it's a classic, though, but I don't think I'd watch it.
Anywho, I don't even know how we got started on the Francis Ford Coppola train.
Oh... Yeah, I don't know.
My
we were doing
favorite
because I was doing comments of favorite thing, and somehow
I said Godfather 2, and you said
Apocalypse Now.
So tell me,
hey, commenters, please tell me. Don't tell me I'm right. Okay, I personally, subjectively believe.
Tell him
love that movie. I love that movie. I love it. If you hate it, tell me you hate it and why. If you love it, tell me you love it and why. There's something far better than that.
Oh, yeah. There's a war film better than that.
What?
No, I said if there is,
I need to watch it. I don't even mean just a war movie. I mean just a movie that has that wow, just to me,
The look, the touch, the feel.
yeah. I mean, it's just
The fabric of our lives.
okay.
Tell me
You're
the
doing
movies
commercials
you've
again.
watched this week. Good stuff.
I watched Talk to Me.
Oh, yeah, we need to discuss that.
I mean, we don't have to go.
One of the few
Balls out on any of
recommendations that I've given you that you have checked out. And let's start with your final verdict and work backwards. Final verdict is from you.
It had a good ending. It was okay. There were like a couple scenes that were pretty awesome. I mean, you saw it, right?
Hell yeah.
Okay, well, listen. Well, I asked you this, before. I don't know, like the mother wanted to kill this.
Black girl.
Yeah, kill her. And then,
Rightfully so.
and another thing, that the hand. There's a hand in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a statue of a hand with stuff written on it that helps you go into this state where you see spirits. Well, there was a time, like the people that had it was that Samoan looking guy,
Mm-hmm.
and the other guy who hung out with him was either a boy or a girl.
I thought it was his gay sister.
Oh, why did she look so different?
Bro, I
Okay, whatever.
I don't know how the
whatever.
Samoans are. I'm not going to
They're
pretend I
Aborigines.
understand.
They're not Samoans.
You
I said
called him Samoan first.
Well, I said Samoan looking. I didn't say he was Samoan.
Aborigines sounds more racist than the N-word.
That is not a racist term. It's an instructive
be.
term.
It should be. What does it mean? They're not originally from there? From
No, it means they are
Australia?
from there. Basically means indigenous. The indigenous people of
Why don't they just say that,
Australia.
then?
I don't know. They call them Aborigines or Aborigine.
What is the deal with pygmies? Is that racist?
No, it's a type of people, and that's probably from crossbreeding, where a bad gene got passed around.
Oh, like incest?
Yes, because they were on an island,
Ooh.
and the
That's a
gene
big
pool
mistake.
was. I don't think it was their
Japan's
choice.
an island.
Well, it's a bigger island. I have to look up pygmies now. We used to talk about them all the time. Like, I went to Catholic school, and I don't know, they would talk about
You
donating
like
money.
pray for the pygmies?
Or, yeah, donating money.
Well, dude, my generation was the one where I cannot remember this actress's name. She was on one of those heartthrob teenage romance Dawson's Creek, one of those type shows.
Yeah.
Where there would be like these poor looking pygmy people, and they'd say donate now, and they'd have this really sad song playing.
Are you talking about animals or pygmies? Like dogs?
It's pygmies.
Okay.
Maybe it was dogs.
They were small.
What was the song?
Oh, God, they're from Africa. I didn't know that.
Why were they in Australia? Or is it Australia or New Zealand?
That's the Aborigines.
New Zealand.
Hey, you went to high school, right?
Dude, we don't really talk about the minor countries.
Okay, so I did not realize this, but I thought they
We
were
had
islands.
U.S. History 1 and 2, and that was it. And then you learned about Rome, and then I think you did current events.
It
In
seems
case you were
to
ever
me,
on Jeopardy.
all the books that they read, may have mentioned that I am a substitute school teacher, and they read about the Holocaust a lot, which I think is actually good. But
they always put it in the nonfiction sentence. I fucked the joke.
Center
In
section.
the nonfiction section, it's supposed to be a joke about
Well, there could be.
Holocaust denial,
Oh, okay.
which I am not a Holocaust denier. But I do like to joke about it. Which I don't think is wrong.
That's. A lot of
I
people
don't think
joke
it's
about
wrong.
that.
Hey, I'm part Jew. Everyone's part Jew, if you think about it.
How so?
Adam and Eve, brother.
Oh, they were Jewish.
We're all brothers and sisters.
How were Adam and Eve Jewish? Explain that to me.
Well, if if we're all brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
then I'm related to a Jewish
Okay,
person.
all right, whatever.
It's in my
say
lineage.
dumb things to make me angry.
And also, if Christ is king and he was a Jew, then damn it, I'm a Jew. I'm probably saying
I think he
it
changed
too much.
religions.
I think this video might be flagged. I don't think you're allowed to say that word as much as I've said it so far. And I'm probably on a watch list now. But
way to go.
Talk to me about Talk to Me.
I can't. There's not a lot to say. I mean, like I said,
there's a ton
not
to
that
say.
it mattered, but I didn't know if that was a dude or a chick.
You were really hung up on that, huh?
Well, I just couldn't figure it out, and not that hung up. Okay, so that, and then there's another place where I'll call her the black girl. I can't remember her name.
Or the main girl.
The main girl had the hand, but she didn't have the hand because then later they gave it to her. It's like, how did you have it? And because she took it into a hospital room, and then whatever, I don't know. She missed her mom. I feel bad. Whatever.
I thought that...
I liked the ending. It was okay.
Yeah, ending was good. I know I said it wasn't.
Yeah, you did.
I thought it could be disappointing because of how good the lead-up was. Sometimes you build things up so well that it's like, how do you end this? That's how I felt. I enjoyed.
Okay. Well,
I enjoyed the premise so much. It was one of the freshest premises I've seen in some time.
There's more I think they could have done with that.
Well, they, I think, are planning on continuing that.
Well,
So,
there's a lot you could do with that.
Like, they're going to deepen the lore, I guess.
Well, you can do that. That's fine. I understand. It's fine. It's just that the, interacting with dead people.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot you can do with that.
And all the dead people that they showed on screen, they did such a tremendous job with the makeup and whatnot.
I thought the makeup was excellent.
Oh my gosh!
Because it wasn't a low budget film or anything, but the makeup was very good.
Yeah, it looked like a very well polished product, and I know it wasn't like
High.
super funded, like crazy expensive.
But like
movie.
when the boyfriend of the girl did it, they didn't overdo it, but it's like, yeah, something's very wrong with him right now. You know what I mean?
And there's something. So it's like an analogy parallel. It's drawing a parallel to drug use, right?
Oh yeah.
And I think by looking at it through a different lens, so we look at it as like, hey, they're doing this risky thing that they look at as like an experience,
Right.
which is how you look at drugs, especially when you're in that age range.
Right.
It allows you to like honestly kind of see the true horrors when they do certain type of drugs that they're not ready for.
Yeah.
And I know there'll even be debates on just the way that I said that very generically and whatnot. People would be like, what do you mean people aren't ready for whatever?
Well, I mean, if you're like a pot smoker and all of a sudden you take LSD, I think you're taking a big jump. You're not quite ready for that.
They're showing like cell phone footage of people who are just like fucking like seizing up and shit, and they're like, whoa, look at him.
Yeah.
Like all the kids are laughing
Yeah.
and just watching. It reminds me of, there was this stuff they would sell in head shops in a popular vacation location for us. We would go there all the time.
Yeah.
I fucking forget what it's called, but it was like legal. Like anyone could sell it.
Okay.
But it was way more intense. It wasn't weed. It was like 30 seconds of, you're going to see...
Stevia?
Something like that. Not
okay.
stevia, but it's like that.
Right.
Sativa, I think is...
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Something like that.
For 30 seconds of super rush.
You're just... Like, you're gone. Yeah. You are experiencing like a different dimension for 30 seconds. And people have jumped out their windows and I've watched
wow.
videos of people just going fucking nuts.
Well, it sounds like Whippets. So the Whippets weren't really nearly as strong as that. Whippets were kind of stupid.
That's coming back.
Is it?
They call it
Nitrous
Galaxy.
oxide, right?
They call it Galaxy gas now.
Is it just nitrous oxide?
I don't
You
know
take it
what
from
you're
a
actually
small-
inhaling. Yeah. Well, now they have big old tubes
Yeah.
that you just cool. Well, because people were like buying cases of it,
Yeah.
and people were like, I guess now it's legal. Let's sell them one big thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you could only buy those like little bottles
Yeah.
of alcohol, and then someone invented the.
It's like, hey, let's just
half
make a
gallon.
bigger container.
It's like, well, people are inhaling this shit. Let's just give them what they want.
Yeah, they're gonna do it anyway. Might as well make it convenient, make some money off of it.
I think it's close enough to what the topic of Talk to Me is. But how is your... Because I think, I mean, Australia's a little more liberal about, like, party culture and probably drug culture. I mean, they're very close to U.S., but I would say maybe slightly more liberal.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I don't know a lot about Australia.
Do you...
It's an island, right?
Well, I think their drinking age is 18, which is more liberal than U.S.,
Yeah.
obviously.
Right.
But what do you think about just like drug, what's the regulation? Like,
in our country?
yeah, like the legality of specific drugs. I mean, are you libertarian when it comes to that, or do you like it being regulated? How do you think?
I think where it's at now, I mean, I haven't really given it a ton of thought. Where it's at now, I think's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's, if you can't, I don't know if you should make LSD legal or heroin or fentanyl. And there's an argument that if you make it legal, I don't think that I don't think that argument would play out that, it'll take away the allure of it. I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
I mean, so when they flooded the market with the painkillers, Purdue Pharma,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it gutted parts of
The
Appalachians. I mean,
yeah.
not that those places were thriving, but I mean, it turned everybody into a drug addict.
Well, they specifically marketed towards areas like that
Yeah.
had very
Labor intensive
yeah,
because they have more injuries and
exactly.
muscle pain.
Just very
body
sinister
pain.
shit, I would say. But yeah, I used to be a very libertarian when it came to that. I thought everything should be legal. Like public intoxication would be the thing to get you for, not just carrying. If you're like too fucked up on the street,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna get booked for that and like find a place, you know.
Get all messed up. Well, I mean, yeah, you can't, because it creates problems. They get run over, or they start fights, or they get robbed. So there's crime associated with public intoxication.
Yeah. And then I saw like Kensington near Philly and then like shit going on in San Fran where it's just like
Xylazine.
yeah, people are
Trank.
just zonked out on the streets, which is public intoxication, and I like for my personal policies they wouldn't be on the streets. You would just be like shipping them in, sober up, get them out. But it's just not practical. I think you have to regulate it to some.
Yeah.
More so than it
especially
currently
those.
is.
I mean, those were strong drugs. Like xylazine. What it did is it intensified fentanyl.
Which is exactly what you need.
Yeah. Well, I did make it more toxic. Made the, but it also caused severe tissue damage. So it ate away at you like a flesh-eating bacteria.
Yeah, so they look like the Walking Dead.
Yeah, I mean they were zombies. So it's not going to be a biological thing that causes zombieism. It's going to be street drugs.
Which who would have thought?
Well, yeah, good point.
Yeah, that's the new
That's
epidemic.
not. Well, hopefully,
I will say the one thing I did hear about fentanyl is a lot of people complain it's not intense enough. It's the most common complaint. Like, make this more intense. So,
You know, like a 2 pound, like you ever see like a pound of flour? So if that
not
were
really.
fairly,
Maybe.
you have seen it. All right. If that were relatively pure fentanyl, I mean, it could kill like
a city.
a city.
Yeah.
It's so toxic.
Yeah, it's no good.
No, it's
Especially people without tolerances. They probably like a dab will do ya.
right.
Yeah. But Talk to Me, I really, really liked. It was maybe one of the most impressive horror film debuts from that group.
That was a debut. That was a debut.
Yeah.
That was good. Good.
I thought
good
it was
first
great.
outing.
I'd give it a 4.
I could give it a 4. When he bashed his face in, that was
Amazing.
well. I mean,
Sensational.
very.
Fantastic.
Stop giving me acronyms. No, not acronyms.
Synonyms.
Those others acronyms. Synonyms. Those are synonyms.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon. I mean, so shocking. Just how he responded, and then they're like, "Oh, we're fucked," because the cops are gonna show up, and this guy's beating his brain half in.
I thought he killed him. I thought he died.
Oh, okay. Well, it won't ever be the same. I'll tell you that.
'Twas never the same.
Won't look. Wait. He's weird looking anyway. You remember?
That's
weird
just Australians,
eyelids.
people.
No, it isn't. Sometimes I wonder if you've ever seen television.
I watched a lot of TV growing up.
That's not how Australian people look. Look that kid up. He's got
I know what you mean. He kind of looks like a
fish. His
he
eyelids
looks like
were
a
weird.
doll brought to life.
Okay,
would
that's
say.
not even close, but okay. For you, that's as close.
It's a good metaphor,
Yeah.
and that's a metaphor for life. Now hit me with your next movie.
Okay, and the next one is. I gotta look it up.
If you want to.
No, you can't.
Do you want me?
I saw Midnight in the Switchgrass.
I have no idea what that is.
Megan Fox was in it. It was weird. Megan Fox still looks really good.
Plastic surgery is a hell of a drug, man.
Hey, I've seen people. You want to see really bad plastic surgery? Look at Madonna.
When it's good,
She
you
looks
don't notice.
otherworldly. Well,
When
then
it's
she
bad, you do.
She's got the absolute best plastic surgeon. She looked gorgeous, and she's been gorgeous for like 20 years.
She was actually good in one movie I watched, and that was Jennifer's Body.
Oh, I remember that. Did you ever see Don't Move?
I have not.
This guy, he drugs him. It's a paralytic. Paralytic. That's what I meant. That's not bad, and he abducts people. He's a bad person. Black Mass, you ever see that? That wasn't crazy.
Black Mass, is that a show or a movie?
No, that's Johnny Depp plays Whitey Bulger.
Oh, I have. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's okay.
It's not my favorite, but it's good.
I
gave it a 3.
Okay. That's not...
I like Joel Edgerton. Let me see who that guy is. He plays John
You know Joel
He's
Edgerton?
good. He is good.
Yeah, he's good. He was in that.
I didn't know him by name. He's a good actor. I guess I gotta... And I liked Benedict Cumberbatch.
Everything I've seen him in, I liked. I liked him.
Here's the deal with that. It's very... Dude, The Departed is such a hard act to follow.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Fucking Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
I don't care that you're Johnny Depp. Ain't no motherfucker outdoing Jack Nicholson.
Right.
Even then.
It was.
Now
the
you
plot
probably
was way
could,
more
but
complex than Black Mass really was.
Black Mass is like, oh man, they're getting inside information. It's like, okay, everyone who knows about Whitey Bulger already knew that. Because everyone's seen The Departed.
Yeah, that's true. So they think he was an FBI informant, right?
I mean, they're like pretty positive, yeah. Which is, I mean, once you are an adult in today's day and age, you get that. But
So he was just playing all different angles.
yeah, like 10
his
years
benefit.
ago, that was surprising to learn about.
Right.
But now, when you realize like the shit they did to JFK and probably all the other shit that is, the conspiracies are real. Yeah, you're like probably shocked back then.
Right. Well, that's a good point. Sorry, I'm just referring back to my 10-year-old
My diary.
smartphone. It's not even smart anymore. It's
It's
middle age and it's starting to get senile. So Midnight in the Switchgrass, Machine Gun Kelly's in it, which not a big role. Nobody cares about that, of course.
If you dislike his music, you'll love his acting.
Did you see Society of Snow?
I have. I'll talk about that. I was not a big fan of that.
No.
I thought it was kind of.
That's the one we thought they went over the Alps.
I did call all of the rugby players.
Remember
gay.
that? Do you remember?
I gave it a 3.5, but I mean that's got a 4.1 average.
It's just kind of boring. I mean, it's like, look, yeah, okay, you're eating people. That's pretty.
There wasn't much more to it than that.
I know,
though.
that's what I mean.
And everyone knows.
Yeah.
That shit happens.
It's like the Donner Party. Didn't they do that too? Remember the Donner Party?
I did give you a book, I think, about that.
No, you did.
It probably didn't survive the move. But I think it's called, something in the stars. I can't fucking remember.
I think you made it up. Did you see Unhinged with Russell Crowe?
No.
He's a super pissed off older white guy. He gets pissed off at it.
The Indifferent Stars Above. That's the Donner Party movie. Or book, rather.
You know what? 1917 was actually pretty good.
Yeah, you love that movie. I like that movie.
It was pretty good.
Everyone likes that movie.
That ending of that, and it's like a couple quotes because what it is these two people have to run or, trek across a portion of, I don't know, maybe Germany or France to tell, they got information in 1917. There was no cell phone. So, if you had to deliver information, you had to physically deliver it. So they got to get over to them and say, don't attack because they want you to attack. They're like loaded for bear.
In the Civil War, though, we had ways to instantly
they cut the lines.
Transmit.
Yeah, it was.
Why didn't the rebels do that to us? Were they not smart enough to cut the lines?
To cut our lines?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we had more infrastructure.
Touche. Yeah, I gave that a 4, 1917. I liked it. There was, I think the vast majority of that movie, or it was like an incredibly long sequence, was all done in one shot. I think
I would think that that's probably true.
Do you remember there was a plane crash, like at a barn?
Yes.
I think that was part of the one shot.
Okay.
Sequence, which is like,
well,
I don't know.
Yeah,
why
they try to help this guy. He kills the one guy. I mean, that was cool. That scene was cool because it just felt very real as far as the plane coming in. Like, it's going to crash into them.
Yeah.
And they have to, like, move, and then it crashes, like, I don't know, maybe into the barn or whatever. It didn't kill the guy, the German pilot, but then the pilot pulls a gun. They were English, right? On one English guy and kills him. They're trying to help him. But no good deed goes unpunished.
Exactly. Do you have any others you would like to throw into the gauntlet?
Let's see if there's any that were completely awful that I watched. Because I have this habit, man. I've started to like, hey, that looks good. And I'm like, oh my God, what was I thinking? I wish I could remember the name of this one. Oh my God, was it bad? The special effects were outrageously stupid. So they find in the comments, somebody remember, no one watched this movie, so you can't comment on it. a hole in the ocean floor, and they go into it. They find this creature that looks like 10th graders made it out of paper mache or something. It stands up and it's got these wings and it's real big. And out of the vessel, the submarine that goes into it, there's a smaller one that one guy takes out on his own. And they show like the creature trying to swat it. Oh my God, it is so bad. I think it's worth watching, and I really wish I knew the name of it. But if you look at these special effects, are like, oh my God,
what
this
year
is so
did
bad.
It seem like it came out?
I don't know. I'll have. You know what? Next episode, because I watched a portion of it, and then I'm like, I can't watch it anymore. This is so stupid. It's so bad.
If only you had someone who watched a ton of movies who could recommend you stuff, so you avoid movies like that.
Well, it's got to be good. Can't be black and white. Can't be.
Some of the best movies of all time are black and white, my friend.
Yeah. Okay. Our readers, as sophisticated as they would
let's ask.
would not watch them.
I'll throw it to you all now. If you're still listening, thank you. Do you like black and white films? Yes or no? Name some you like, or if you don't like them, tell us why. Also, do you like foreign film? Same rules.
Okay, I was going over the demos for our audience, and it actually, literally, somewhere around 10% are in a coma. Did you hear that? They're still listeners. As long as they don't comment as often.
As long as they hit play, or someone hits play for them.
Yeah. Did you see the Good Nurse? You
saw
Good Nurse.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah, we were. That guy is in either a series or a movie called The Assassin or something like that. He just has a good quality about him.
He's a very solid actor, I would say.
He was very good in Good Nurse, and he got probably obviously way more screen time in this thing I'm talking about. But he was like, that's an assassin. That he's an assassin. You know,
he's very feminine features.
He does, but he has a good face.
Ah, that sounded a little gay.
I didn't say I liked it. Like I was attracted to it. That would sound gay.
Your tone said it all. Can we transition to 2 movies for me now?
You do the Werner Herzog.
Well, we're gonna do that after. I'm just gonna quickly talk about 2.
Okay, go ahead.
The first one, just gonna touch on foreign movie, Akira Kurosawa. I think it's roughly about Hamlet. I might be getting that mixed up with another one of his. But anyways, it's like kind of a cat and mouse business corruption. Guys trying to uncover it and expose them, and it goes awry, and it's called The Bad Sleep Well. That's my foreign recommendation of the week, which I want to start doing just because I'm like the foreign correspondent. You don't like...
No.
It's a loose adaptation of Hamlet.
Okay.
The Bad Sleep Well, 1960, Akira Kurosawa. If you have the Criterion channel, you can watch it. I'm sure you can find other ways to watch it as well, but I would try to support Criterion.
If you hear a baby screaming in the background,
that's my illegitimate
everything's
child.
Okay. There's nothing illegal going on.
It's not an illegal baby.
We are not selling the baby. We are, it's in our care. We'll say that.
Yeah, that's a good movie. I'm a huge fan of Akira Kurosawa and Toshiro Mifune. They are both, Akira's the director. Mifune is the lead. I'm a huge fan of him.
Okay, next one.
And then Mickey 17. So this is doing even worse at the box office than Snow White. Unfortunately so, because Snow White has been panned by fan and critic alike, whereas Mickey 17 actually has people who enjoy it. Myself included, I thought it was very good. And I think it's worth putting out there that, look, the director is well known. He's trying to kind of infiltrate U.S. audiences because of his success with Parasite. So they give him a big budget film. And I think Mickey 17 is is based on a manga, which, if you're familiar with that, that's like the Japanese equivalent of magazine or comic books.
Oh, I always thought it was pronounced manga.
Either
What are you talking about?
Either or. Yeah. No, it's a novel. So the novel is
Did you
actually
get any
called.
of this right?
It's actually called Mickey 7 by Edward Ashton.
But they wanted to pump it up a little bit for a movie.
Let's add 10 to that.
Make it 11.
And it was gonna be a series. They originally were thinking they could do Mickey 17, Mickey 18, and I don't know when it would end. It'd probably be a trilogy, because that's like the gold standard, obviously. And Robert Pattinson, they're like, okay, well, we got the Batman, who is probably one of the biggest stars in Hollywood right now. He just played Batman.
Yeah.
Killed it in good time, was in Tenet. People want him to be James Bond, though he never will be, unfortunately. I would love to see it.
Yeah, you could do James Bond.
I
That's
think
not Idris Elba, but Idris is getting up there in years. Other than that, I would love to see Idris as Bond. I think it'd be Bond. I know.
Yeah.
He's
If
just
you
charismatic.
feel it necessary that it's like it has to be the first black James Bond, then Idris.
Well, I'm just black or white. Bond could be black. I mean, there's been black people in England. I mean, not necessarily a lot, but since the 1700s, possibly. Okay, don't look at me. Don't look at me like that.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, you saw me.
I was listening intently.
Mm-hmm. Anyhow, but he might be too old now. I think you have to go with. I don't know. I'd still like to see him, but I don't think they'll do it. But maybe they do. Idris, I haven't seen in. I loved him in Luther. He was awesome, and then they did this one-off of Luther, and I just didn't seem to have any of the same sensibilities or whatever about it. He was like a gritty London detective who would, break the law, but for good reason. And in this one-off thing they did with him, I just didn't. It was way too over the top for. The series was great. I love the series. I recommend that Luther, the series.
That's your series recommendation of the week.
Yeah, and that's older. It's not
Mickey
real
17. Mark Ruffalo was in it. Mark Ruffalo was very good.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, he was in it.
He played kind of like the cartoonish
Villain.
caricature of a politician, out-of-touch politician, like pseudo-dictator, pseudo-authoritarian, because, they're on this expedition to another planet, and he was a failed politician who kind of gets to do this expedition, so he's like the leader of this new world.
Right.
So he plays like an egomaniac very well, very vain, attention, narcissistic, egotistical maniac.
Right. Got it.
And Robert Pattinson gets to play two characters at the same time.
Simultaneously?
Yeah. I think it's good because you get to see the range, like, super clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Which there's been roles that really impressed me, like Emma Stone in Yorgo Lanthimos's, what the fuck is it called? It's like the Poor Things. She impressed
Frankenstein.
me. Yeah. She impressed me because it's almost like every scene there's a progression of the character. Like the character progresses so quickly that you almost get to instantly like, okay, she's acting different than she did just in this one.
Which is not easy to do.
Yeah.
Gradually,
Exactly. So that takes a lot of patience and thought on part of actress and director. But with Mickey 17, it's even easier to identify because he was playing kind of a more introverted, self-conscious, pacifist type character, and then he's kind of playing like...
You mean passive?
Passive character, and then...
Do you mind when I do that? Because I do that a lot.
Well, no, I don't mind being corrected because I like using words like trying to
Pacifist,
get my thought.
tell me what a pacifist is.
Someone who does not like conflict or physical altercations.
Mostly war, but okay.
Yeah. I guess you could say...
So I'm sure the listeners are going to comment on that. It's like, oh, Mr. Smarty Pants over there telling his son what words mean. Sorry.
Yeah, I think everyone gets that. Everyone understands.
Okay.
But yeah, Mickey 17, hate to see it lose so big at the
Something's doing well. Something is doing well. I can't remember.
I think the Minecraft movie's killing it.
Minecraft.
What the fuck, guys?
You don't know. Kids fucking love Minecraft. I mean,
I know
it's
they
like
love
a religion.
the game.
Well, yeah, but they're gonna go. They're gonna go. They love the game. They're gonna go watch the movie.
I
guess. Obviously, because it is doing.
We're
really
screwed, man. What was that movie for, like, my generation? Do you remember, like, the stupid movie? All of the people my age were like, we gotta go see this. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I wish I could, just to compare. For us, it was like The Dark Knight, which is a good movie.
Well, that's
like one of the best movies
No,
ever
it
made.
was
Twilight?
Transformers.
I did go to see the first one, but even at that young age, I was like, I've seen all I need to see. Even as a kid, I was like...
People dig... It was a popular... I always talk about it because it does well...
They made 1 million of them.
In Asia.
Well, yeah. That is maybe why Asians aren't quite as smart as we think they are. So they eat that shit up like it's fucking rice and... What else do they like? Rice and fish.
Lotus flowers.
Yeah, they like sushi. Sashimi.
Okay, that's just Japan.
Mushi mushi. Oh, what do the Chinese eat? Dog?
They eat a lot
Cat?
of things. But
Orange
they're not
chicken?
an island, so they don't eat a lot. They don't need to eat a lot of fish.
Do they have a lot of cattle? I don't
I
know.
don't think they have... I don't think they raise cattle.
That's a dumb decision.
Yeah, that was a bad move on their part.
You should reinvest.
Maybe they do. Maybe they... I mean, they eat beef. I knew that. It comes from somewhere.
Avocados from China.
Yeah.
I've seen that commercial. I love that commercial.
No, I haven't seen that.
No, you've seen the
I don't know what you're talking
avocados
about.
from Mexico.
Yeah.
I just messed it.
I know.
It's China.
Intentionally.
Um,
They can grow everything. They can make everything.
Well, is heroin or fentanyl? That's a big...
They call it the precursors for fentanyl
Are shipped from China to here.
to Mexico.
To Mexico?
Yeah. Which, by the way, they call it a Belt and Silk Road concept. And I don't know what that means. I've heard it. But, I mean, yeah, they do it for fentanyl, but they do it for mostly automobiles, but many other, to get around tariffs. Because Mexico's part of NAFTA.
Yeah.
So they
send it there and then Mexico trades it to us. There's no...
Right.
Or is that still going to be the case?
I think they're trying somehow to stop that from happening.
Here's the thing about tariffs, and I know all the listeners are like, you guys stop talking about movies like 2 minutes in. Well, you love us.
No,
we could talk about
didn't.
We talked about a lot of movies.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this, and I guess shame on me. You probably are well aware of this. The tariffs we are implementing, the percentage is not based on reciprocating the exact tariff percentage. It has to do with the trade deficit. That's how the percentage has been determined.
Well, it's a lot lower than we are paying. I know that. I've seen, from what I have seen, I did not know that. I did not. So I didn't know how they determined. But in the cases, like, for instance, when Trump spoke, he brought in, I assume it's accurate. If not, we would hear about it. But, so, like, if they're charging 80%, a lot of times we're, like, at 15%.
Well,
but it's based on the trade.
Up and see if our
No,
tariff...
I think you're right, though. I think that's what they use. But it couldn't be for that, because it seemed like it was very often, like, 10%. Like, way too often to be based on...
The trade deficit.
Yeah. But that's a factor
I
for
looked
sure.
at a site and it's like most places charge us a tariff of 3 to 5%, I guess. According to this site, that's all I know. But I guess our trade deficit is really the only place that I saw that was above 10 is India, which was at 12, which should make you.
Yeah, but when he came on, and I'm not saying he's, he could be completely wrong. He, because of the nature of the media landscape, can't go on with a board. Did you see him? He was like actually holding, with the numbers, and be that grossly wrong. He can't say that the Netherlands or EU charges us 33%, and I don't know if that's the average of all the different goods and services or what, and it'd only be 5. Because he would get crucified.
I think it's playing with the words and the definitions.
It could be, but it has to be materially somewhat accurate or primarily accurate.
It's accurate to the trade deficit, is what I'm saying. And
no, but he was talking about tariff rates. He was not talking about trade deficit rates.
Okay.
But you could be right.
I've confused myself then, because that was my understanding prior to looking at this, and other people are saying that's not the case. I would think there would be a larger, more prominent voice speaking out about it, though. Now that I think about it, from the left.
Oh my god!
If that were the case,
that's
maybe we'll see that. I don't know.
They have the numbers, so
if
we haven't seen it yet,
into it and see anything.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of countries, there's a lot of numbers, there's a lot of tariff rates and so forth. But if he were that wrong on saying the EU charges this, China charges, India, we'd hear about it for a month.
Which all of our non-U.S. listeners, we still love you and support you.
Yeah, there's no tariff on this.
Yeah, there's no tariff on
free.
joy.
I think we're the only
non-tariffed item.
Well, we only one to claim to be a non-tariff service, which is listening to
us. Yes.
No, others may be, but they don't claim. We make that claim.
Well, we're worldwide, buddy.
We have a listener in
Turks and Caicos,
Akron, Ohio.
The land of LeBron James.
And
did you know that? Homeless people.
And tires. Yep.
Stinky people.
I don't mean to.
Hand me the bone again. I shouldn't have let it go.
Like I always talk about, like the most non-glamorous place to, like, have a timeshare or go on vacation, Akron, Ohio. And not that it's particularly bad. It's just
I would never want to go there.
People would not. Yeah.
So we were brought here today to speak about the one and only Werner Herzog. I'm a big fan. You've heard a lot about him through me, which we're kind of going to recount that and just kind of talk about my appreciation of him. The earliest film, and it looks like this is out of... Nope, it is. Okay, the earliest film I've seen from him is Aguirre, The Wrath of God. And that's actually the first film I've seen from him, period. Was also the earliest. And holy shit, man. It's one that I really want to revisit. And it has a lot of backstory to it. But the main story is him and Klaus Kinski. You really can't speak about Werner Herzog without mentioning this dude.
I know. The
guy was an absolute maniac.
As you've said, yes.
He speaks about it more in a documentary. I'll kind of save it for then. But Aguirre, The Wrath of God, first of all, it starts out like spectacularly because they just have cast members traversing Machu Picchu, which is like a normal director wouldn't have his like hundreds of cast members do that. He's the type of guy that is like, yeah, we'll do that.
It has to be done for the film.
We'll set that up, and I don't care how brutal it is, because there's scenes where it's like, you know, they have someone in like, what the fuck would you call it, like a buggy.
Yeah.
You know, it's being like dragged by, and I don't even know if it was by horses or like something that could survive in the jungle there, and it is so horribly stuck in the mud. Okay. Where the people beside it are like literally having to like lift this heavy as fuck buggy.
Well, is it
in the mud?
The cargo, or what's in the buggy?
Like the daughter of a Guerre, because they're like royalty that are, you know, explorers. Okay. And you're like, first of all, I feel so bad for the extras.
Yeah.
That are like in the mud, and it's like, hey, we got to get this shot. Keep getting stuck in this mud. We'll just film it.
Can we use a winch or something? Because we can't get it out.
It's like there's a bulldozer right behind you. Can we just use that?
They didn't have bulldozers then. Okay.
No,
or they didn't bring them down here.
I need to see the anguish of you trying to. I can't do it. He sounds more like Arnold Schwarzenegger because he's from around that area.
Yeah.
I had it dialed in.
California?
I had it dialed in this morning. He has such a spectacular voice. That's another reason why I'm actually like very interested by him, is, and not to shit on like directors that I even really like. Mm-hmm. For example, like Marty Scorsese, Quentin Tarantino.
Marty, your buddy Marty.
We're pretty tight.
Okay, all right.
They are encyclopedic in their knowledge about film, mm-hmm. but they are obsessively connected to film. That was their childhood. And that's what brought them.
Spielberg, I know, was.
To film.
Yeah.
And yeah, Spielberg too. I don't know that from my watching.
I believe. I mean, I've heard things about
too.
him in his youth where he was born to be a filmmaker.
Yeah. I mean, I read Tarantino's book. I've listened to his podcast a number of times. And then with Scorsese, I've seen enough interviews where he's like, yeah, I was kind of like a sickly kid, and well, that was like what we did. We went out, I watched movies, I stayed at home a lot, and they just played movies on television. So that was my childhood.
Well, I mean, there's something to be said for like when you're young like that, your exposure to what, like Einstein was exposed, which was like to electromagnetic something, so a lot. Mm-hmm. And it, he happened to be extremed brilliant anyway, Yeah.
Ooh.
And he was exposed to that. And so it formed his path in life, that it is somewhat related to astrophysics or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah. So I guess like my thing, like, those guys know a ton about film, and Werner's like the opposite. He didn't watch his first film until he was 17. So he grew up in a small village in, I'm going to look up, I don't know if it's Bolivia or...
Is he from South America?
He is not. It's near Germany.
Bavaria,
yes. He's a German filmmaker. Yeah, I think... his parents were Nazis. Fun fact.
BMW? You know what BMW stands for?
Don't know.
Take a guess.
BMW.
You don't know. Bavarian Motor Works.
Should have guessed that.
Well, if you were to ask 10 people, one may know, I think.
And he studied German literature and history in Pittsburgh and Munich. He talked about Pittsburgh, I guess.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania?
Yeah. He said he was attracted to that specific place because it was in the aftermath of like the steel boom was starting to kind of fall off.
Oh, taper off. Okay.
Yeah, and he liked that it was like this weird time period for.
Yeah, he had an eye. Sounds like he had an eye for, huge societal change. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's what that was in that area. I'm
'cause
sure.
the
I know nothing
stories.
about the area other than that.
Yeah, the Steelers are from Pittsburgh. It's such a hardworking blue collar town, and like after a lot of people fled after this. I knew like from economics classes and stuff like that. Like people don't realize it's kind of like Detroit, how like the automotive industry
Yeah, a
was
lot of
huge.
people left the Rust Belt, and a lot of them went to Houston, Texas.
Yeah, I don't even know what their industry is in Houston.
Oil.
Oh, and that never goes.
Well, it can, but it hasn't
No.
really yet.
Saudi Arabia is still doing well.
You making fun of me now?
So he's just the opposite of what the
Is
contemporary.
this guy still alive?
He is, yeah. He just did a 60 minutes short interview with Anderson
Oh,
Cooper.
was that recent?
What?
That interview he did.
I
He
think
didn't look that old.
he's 82, so he is. But he's sharp. He's with it, man.
I saw a very short clip, and I wouldn't mind watching more of it. Yeah, he didn't really look that old, and he sounded, like you said, pretty. You should make another movie.
He remembers stuff too from like, I mean, his life. He's a guy who lived life, and then finds joy in these just really obscure pieces of literature, slices of life
Yeah.
to document. He meets these interesting characters that are like hidden gems, for lack of a better term. It's like just he documents stuff that is like no one else finds besides him, which is what makes him a tremendous documentarian, because no one else you're never going to learn about these characters if not for him.
Right.
Like I think Aguirre's loosely based on someone real. And then I watched I would say, just before moving on, like the first film that I saw, Aguirre, The Wrath of God, I would recommend it for you. I've said it time and time again. I think it's really, really worth watching, because the one thing that does transition into the mainstream, because it's kind of a high art movie. That is what Werner does with his, what do you call it? Like films, non-documentary films, like narrative features, I guess is what it would be called. If
Okay.
it's not a documentary. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of high art. Like he's unique. He's peculiar. It's not an average
Yeah.
film with him. It's not mainstream by any means. It didn't, literally every film.
You're not going to tell me the name, are you?
Aguirre, The Wrath of God.
Oh. I thought you were talking about another film.
Any film by like a German filmmaker gets a tax credit, and his did not get a tax credit because they said it was too bad. And now on Letterboxd, a 4.1 out of 5. I gave it a 3.5
Whoa, wait, 4.1.
out of 5.
You told me you couldn't do that.
That's the average of every single. So they
Okay.
take everyone's 4,
okay,
everyone's
okay.
4.5,
So,
everyone's 5.
Right. That's a good film. That's a really good film.
Damn good film.
Especially for something, you called him poet of madness or something like that.
Yeah.
I was thinking of, and that's probably the best or a very good description of. I was thinking like poet of the absurd as well.
He would probably agree with that.
Because I mean, he embraces
Chaos.
no, just the non-mundane, the non-pedestrian. He's
Yeah.
like he wants to find that, like you said, he looks for meaning or joy or things interest him that are like off the beaten track.
Oh yeah, without doubt. Like he has a keen eye for finding stuff like that.
Yeah.
The next film, like in terms of release dates, The Enigma of Caspar Hauser, you would I don't think you would like this. I kind of enjoyed it. It's about this guy. It's kind of one of those cases of like, if you're familiar with like feral children, people who are locked away for a really long time and then exposed to the outside world. That's what Kaspar Hauser is. But the point of the film is that despite the fact that he's completely new to everything, his new perspective kind of gives him like this childlike purity where he can kind of cut through all the bullshit and see things for how they truly are. I don't think it would speak to you at all. I think like Where the Wrath of God is like damn near 1 or 2 in terms of what I would recommend, but The Enigma, Kaspar Hauser, I don't think would speak to you very much.
Okay.
But I wouldn't. There's certainly going to be people who listen to this that are fans of that. Schroizek is the next one in terms of. This is another one you would really dislike.
Keep telling me ones I would hate. Oh, you'd hate this. Oh my God, you'd hate it.
The best thing about this is like everyone will talk about this as being like the scene to watch. Rather than just go through every single film, I'll go over the ones that are worthy.
Okay.
For my money, Fitzcarraldo is must watch. It's so good. There's so much behind the scenes, and the must watch companion piece is The Burden of Dreams, which shows and documents a lot of the behind the scenes shit that happened on Fitzcarraldo. It's so fucking good. There's so much crazy shit. He literally pulls a 300-ton boat over a mountain, like a hill.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's one river, then there's like this huge hill, and then another river.
Right.
And he pulls it from river to river, which is insane. And it's just really good. And it's the type of... It's not too art housey, I think, for you. So you would still be able to enjoy it. And then, honestly, his documentaries are pretty good. I called it Volcano last time we were discussing this. It's actually Into the Inferno is the real name of it. Pretty much if there's like a type of like look at his documentaries, and if any of them actually covers something that is close to something that interests you, it's like, okay, we gotta watch this. So like Volcanoes, who doesn't like volcanoes?
Right.
I mean,
interesting.
And then Into the Abyss, that's like people on death row. He interviews them. That's interesting. Bunch of shit like that. But like honestly, the point I was trying to make is there are people who get into filmmaking because they've been obsessed with it their whole lives, and then Werner is like the inverse, where it was this kind of technology that he found out late in life. He ends up stealing his first camera that he filmed his first 7 movies on. Like it wasn't his. He stole it from the school and filmed his movies on it. He's so different than everyone else that you get a voice that has never existed and probably won't exist ever again in film.
Right.
And also, in terms of documentaries, the one that is must watch is My Best Fiend, which documents the relationship between Klaus Kinski and Werner Herzog. Because again, like I said, it's a relationship you can't talk about either or.
Symbiotic.
Yeah, exactly. But, and Grizzly Man, because it's the best comedy you'll ever see.
Okay.
Thoughts, feelings, concerns?
No, I think I have to watch one of these.
I'll send you a floppy disk that has all of them on it.
I don't have a floppy drive.
Oh, damn.
But a floppy disk?
We'll work something out.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Fans, send DadMan the Werner Herzog collection. Our email address, our physical address is